All right, Witchlings. Hex and Chill here with Lou, Kay, and Shay. And today we've got some spooky stories for you. We're going to be talking ghosts. I also wanted to give the full disclaimer that there is some heavy gardening done before this podcast recording.
For some of us.
For some of us.
Who could it be?
And we'll let
honestly, you guys
guess.
should please put your guesses in the comments below. Try to figure out who is the most well gardened, well tilled here.
And if you don't know what that means,
it's okay.
Then you can send us
just
a message.
ignore this.
Send us, we'll tell you.
We'll tell you gently.
We'll hold your hand.
Oh my god.
Anyways, welcome to Hex and Chill, guys. But yes, like Lou said, we're going to share some spooky stories that have happened to us in the past. And then kind of the more recent ones when we went to Salem. We have some good ones from that trip. So I think each of us are going to tell you a spooky moment from their childhood or life and like where it led them to the journey of paranormal and loving it, you know, since y'all have that moment where it's like, ooh, that was weird. I can't really explain that. You know what I mean? You're like,
We're going to go ahead and open up our sacred circle.
There she
Hopefully
is.
you can go ahead
She's
and
lit.
open up yours if you are feeling particularly nervous about ghosts.
Things that go bump in the night.
That was the saddest ghost sound I've ever heard.
That's a sad ass ghost over there.
She said,
I was channeling Moaning Myrtle, okay?
Okay.
Fair.
She screams. She's like,
I know.
she has a big scream.
all right, who wants to go first? Who wants to share their scary ghost story? I can go first.
Okay, you go first.
But see, the problem is that before recently, I really don't feel like I've ever had a very paranormal experience, but I do have an experience that I can't explain. And it's a little twisted in that. Oh, when I say that, I mean it's twisted between two belief systems.
Okay.
Because when it happened to me at the time,
Ooh, mine's like that too.
when it happened to me at the time, I thought it was
Demons.
God. Oh,
All right, mine were demons. Yours were God. So I'm ready to see the difference.
I thought it was God. Or now thinking back, I honestly think it could be paranormal, but it also could just be my witchy power. So
I'm ready.
one time when I think I was like 17 or 18, and I was on my way to church, and I was driving my little Volkswagen powder blue convertible Beetle.
Oh, yes.
That was my dream car when I was 17.
That is crazy. I don't know how I got it.
I love that.
It was a lemon though, so
Oh, but it was cute.
it was cute. I loved it. That was my girl. Her name was Elena. Anyway, so I was driving my car over to church, and like I lived kind of far away from my church. I lived like 30 minutes away. So I'm taking this 30-minute drive, and I get all the way there. I park, and I realize that the day before I had put my driver's license in a pair of pants and did not get it out of that pair of pants. And I just drove this 30 minutes without my license. That was a big deal because I was still freshly new to driving. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get pulled over.
Right.
They're going to know
They're
immediately.
going to know. They're going to be like, you're coming with us.
Here's the police.
This is the police pulling you over.
Oh my gosh. Sidestep. Shay made this TikTok when she was like, I think it was college.
Yeah.
When she was nannying these two little babies, and she's like sitting there and she has the police filter and she goes, "This is the police pulling you over." And then she turns to the twin, and it goes to the twin as a police officer and is like, "Hello, fellow officer," or something like that. And so I probably just did it perfect, because how many times Shay tells us like this is why it's not viral. This is an amazing
It's supposed to be
TikTok.
viral, and it never did. I swear
It's
to
like
you.
it's her soapbox. She
It
takes
is.
it out and she's like, "Guys, I need to show you this video that should have gone viral."
Maybe we can post it on our Hex and Chill page, and
my
you
gosh, we
guys can make it blow up.
That would be amazing.
All of my dreams would come true. I'm not lying to you.
All of our serious witch stuff that we put time and effort into get no views, but this one that Shay did back then, oh my gosh, that would be...
It'd be perfect.
It'd be perfect.
This journey would be full circle.
That's it. Ceiling, we're done.
Yep.
We've arrived.
Also, another side note, I'm looking out the window right now and there's a person just in the window over there and I'm really scared.
Oh shit, that is really scary. We're about to talk about ghosts.
Why are they just standing there? They're not moving.
Well, they have a kid, so maybe they're like changing a diaper.
They're not doing anything. No, I watched them go to that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, they moved and landed there, and now they're not moving.
Are you sure it's not just like a picture?
I'm 100% positive. What are they doing? Talking to themselves in the mirror?
No, like it's like
they're
a
charging.
no.
They're charging? What? It's a robot.
It's a robot.
No, it looks more like there's like a line in between.
They're
two.
moving. They're moving again.
They did. Oh my god!
It's a child.
It's the stairs.
What happened?
Maybe they're like cleaning
maybe they're like cleaning something,
or maybe they're you stop at the top of the stairs with your phone and you just like get lost in something before you go down. Like
Yes, absolutely.
like as a
but
kid, I'd be
that
like playing
was
my video
really
game
wild.
and I like stop and just play
And
the
why
video
did they
game.
go down like that? They like went this way, not like
There's a
this
ghost story
way.
happening currently live. We're on the spot right now.
I think that the
Paranormal is outside the door.
in that brand new house over there. Something happened on that
Hey,
land.
you never know what happens on the land. That's
really dumb.
like when you're like, this is my house. I just bought it. It can't be haunted. And then sometimes they're the most haunted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, what? Why are you haunted? You're new. This was the law.
It was built on ancient Native American burial ground.
am sitting on the edge of my seat for the
I
end of
know,
your
I'm so
story.
sorry.
yes, that was okay. So sorry.
Anyway, sorry for that really long tangent.
But there was a
It was
a
There's
weirdness.
things that are
I'm
happening
just-
here, guys. I don't know. We're speaking them into existence.
We're just gonna
Getting it.
pop in and say, yo, hello.
So,
Daisies.
anyways,
I love that from Milan. Is that what you were saying? He's like, they're popping out of the snow like daisies. I love that.
I just imagine Mushu with the heads just pulling him out of the snow. Like,
Mulan.
no,
That's such a good movie.
so good.
Ooh,
Eddie Murphy.
you are lucky. You can sit next to me when he pulls the little cricket out of the...
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Okay. Mulan.
Okay.
Classic. Okay. Shay. Go.
All right. So I've arrived at church. I've realized my ID is in
yes.
my pants at home.
And you've broken the law.
I've broken the law.
That's where it went.
Yes.
Okay. Connection. Okay.
But I mean, I was here, right? I was at church. So I go in and I do whatever people do at church. I don't honestly
know.
remember. I do remember coming out, and this is like so vivid. Like I can imagine it was such a beautiful, nice day. I think it was like spring. And I go to my car and I look down and my license is sitting on my seat, on the driver's seat, propped up. Like someone just placed there and it's perfect. Like it's upright, everything. And I was like, one, if this had just like come out of my pocket or something,
Right.
I would have felt it. Like I literally drove here, sat in this seat the whole 30 minutes to get to church.
Do you know, was it the pants you were wearing and you just forgot that those are the same pants?
No, it was a different pair of pants.
You knew it for sure?
I knew for sure.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I was like, how did I not feel it? One, but also, how is it not just like laying on the
Right.
seat?
Right.
Like it's propped up. I don't understand. That's when I was like, oh my God, it was God. God's looking out for me.
God doesn't want me to break
He just
the
picked up the
law.
license and carried it across state lines.
State lines. 30 minutes state line. No, I mean, like, that was really crazy. And I still
Poltergeists
can't
don't
explain that.
exist. It's just God moving something.
Just transporting physical items through space and time. We saw like newspaper reports of people being like, I saw this license flying through the air.
And I was like, ghost.
was God. No.
That's so funny. Okay.
Anyway, so I don't know. Maybe it was a ghost. Maybe it was my own power. Just like knowing that I'm like really worried about this
Yeah.
and wanting to like.
Or maybe it was like one of your like guardian angels or spirits that protect you. Like kind
That's
of,
honestly
you know,
what I think
sometimes.
it is.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it was like a guardian angel, somebody watching over me. I
we're
don't know.
she's like, we're just gonna drop it right here and see what Shay feels about this.
Yeah, like it was like.
We're gonna prick her. She's a witch now. You know, that moment.
But that is one
That is
moment
cool.
that I
love that.
Okay.
think of.
Mine is so funny after yours because I thought a demon had chased me up the stairs. Okay. So my family has this really weird thing where like my sister saw such weird crap when she was little. Mm-hmm. She would like see things. Like one of her biggest ones that she told me that freaked me out as a kid. Oh, this is a good ghost story, guys. Are you ready? Ooh. Okay, my sister has better ones than mine because mine was just kind of a weird experience. But she was little and my brother had bunk beds. One was on top and the big one was on bottom, you know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had the bigger mattress on bottom. Huh?
I hate this story.
Oh, you know it?
So much.
And so sometimes when my sister would get scared, she would go into my brother's room and she would get on the top bunk because my brother had the bottom bunk. That's what his bed was. And so on this particular night, my sister got scared. And so she went on the top bunk and she fell asleep like she always does. And she wakes up and my brother is chin on the bed, staring at her. He has both hands on the bed, his chin's on the bed, and he's just staring at my sister while she's sleeping. And she's like, what are you doing? Go to sleep. Right? And then he doesn't move. And then that's her first feeling like, this is not my brother. And he looked at her and he rolled his eyes back, swung. You know, when you like swing up and then you land on the bottom bunk, but there was no clunk, right? Like he swung, let go, but there was no like on the bottom, right? She like freaks out, looks down. My brother is asleep. So like she would tell me the story. And to this day, I'm like, did she make this up? Because it was so freaking good. Or did this happen to her when she just saw something like just on the veil?
Well, and that's
right? Peeked through.
Crazy is
a version of your brother,
Yeah.
like
Or
in a different
something,
past,
yeah.
like a past life, or like in
Yeah.
a different timeline.
Yeah. My sister always saw stuff like that. So growing
Yeah.
up, I was like, this shit's real, right?
Yeah.
Like I was terrified. Maybe that's why I was so scared as a kid. And now I'm like really into it because like
Yeah.
my brain shifted from what happened? Like now I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
That
it's
made
more
me so
curious
scared.
and accepting versus like just
Yeah.
terrified.
yes.
Like a demon. It's like, what experience did
well, and it's
she
because
have?
I was so scared of the dark, so afraid.
yeah,
of,
me too.
Like all
Same.
of those things.
Yep.
So scared.
And now I'm not afraid. Like when I hear a clunk,
Oh, I'm still running up the stairs.
yes, but it's not like
Oh, the feeling of someone right behind you, like it's a shadow. Do you know that feeling
Oh,
when you're walking
yes.
up in the dark?
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
if I turn around, it's not going to be there, but it's like glued
It's
to my
there.
skin right
Yes.
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 that
Ooh.
stuff still freaks me out. But it's not like the pure terror
now. Right.
that I felt
You can get there.
thinking it was a demon
Yes.
coming to like steal my soul or
Yeah, 'cause-
whatever. But like now I'm just
Ooh, what was that?
I have the power and I'm like, you're trying to scare the shit out of me, but you can't do anything to me, you know, kind of. But
Or like you turn at them and you're like, who are you?
yes.
What are you? Why are you following me and scaring me
Yes.
right now? Like, what is this? What is this energy? What is the spirit? You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
More than being like, I'm being chased.
But
But
get behind me.
there was this one TikTok I saw of someone like chasing someone up the stairs, and I was like, that is like the most true video I've ever seen in my whole life. Like you flip off a light and all you hear is something
Yep.
like running after
Oh,
you.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
you're like the next light, you're like, you know, you jump in bed and then they're like, snap, I couldn't
That
get
was
her.
That was the same feeling I had in the shower. In
There you go.
Salem.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
That was the same
Ooh.
feeling. Like
Yes.
I was like, there is someone watching me right now.
I know that
So
feeling.
much.
I'm so sorry.
You
Okay.
have to tell your story.
Sorry.
No,
Okay.
no, you're good.
So my childhood story. So I have these stories now you can see in my head of all these scary things that happened. And I'm at my friend's house and her house always gave me the feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The ick.
You're like, there's this one room that was like the special room. You guys know those in the 90s when
The
you
special
I don't
room.
like this special room.
Sorry.
That sounds
You guys
a
might have been
little-
on the right side, but like In the 90s, aunties had these rooms that were like just for looking at. You
Yes.
know, like you don't sit on the furniture. You don't breathe on the furniture. If you lost a child in that room, dear God, your friends, when you are no longer friends anymore.
Correct.
Room,
Yes.
You know, and so my aunt had one of these. So they had this room and same thing, porcelain, big, beautiful. Like, and it was like it was like 2 steps down from like 1 floor,
Yes.
right? It's like that,
yep.
like doon. It's like a second room. So anyways, that room gave me the all the time. Like I would run by that room when I was a kid. Like it just was like, no. And then the stairs away from it, same thing. Like they felt like you were just always being chased.
Yes.
And then you got up into this movie room and there was like haven. It felt safe. Like I was like, oh, I got there. You know, like I had to get from, because her room was on the other side on the top of the stairs. So you like came in and went up to her room, and her mom and dad's room were like shared like a little hall. So like when our parents were asleep, you went to her room, you had to go by the scary room to get back to where all the other girls were summer partying, right? If you like left something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, because
okay.
normally you could just run to the parents' room real quick and get to her side, but like
Right,
you
but-
couldn't always do that because it's like their room.
Right.
Yeah.
So you always had to pass the scary room. And so it's me, her, and my other really good friend, and we're having a slumber party. Something was like weird. Like we need to get back to her room. And so we were all like in the middle of the night have to pass the scary room. And my other friend definitely had spirits in her life all the time. She heard the craziest things in her house. And her sister was even part like of a bad cult. And when she would bring that energy, like when I was little, I was like, oh, they're Satanists. But I think it was just like a bad.
We have coffee and hot cocoa.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh,
That was the cutest little thing that's ever happened.
Sweet.
I
We
could eat my marshmallow.
just we just had the greatest delivery from Kay's oldest kiddo, and it's coffee and hot cocoa. And
So that's why we
marshmallows.
have just went from a really scary moment to right now, because my child came in and did the cutest thing we've ever seen.
ever seen ever.
Okay, anyways, so now that we have our coffee
Oh
from my
God,
child,
this coffee
the
is
scary
so
room.
fucking good.
Okay, so we all have to pass the scary room in the middle of the night, right? Okay, that's like bad juju. Never do this. Why are
hate
you doing
this.
this right now? Right? You hate it. So we start like running across, and my friend who has seen more ghosts like turns in the kitchen, looks at the room, and it goes, "They're coming." Right? And I'm like, holy shit, I know exactly who they are, and I do not want them to come.
And I do not want to meet them.
No. And so I like turn and I book it upstairs, like tripping, running up the stairs. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yes.
I have nightmares about this stuff, being chased up the stairs. And so run into the room. She runs into the room. My friend runs into the room, and we shut the door. And we're all just sitting there. We're sitting there. We're like freaking out. We're calming down. We're like, this is whatever. That wasn't real. We're just working ourselves up. And she had this big Yorkie. His name was Toby. Oh my God, he was so cute. I
Stop.
loved him. And he was a puppy at this time. She had him all the way until he was like an old little man. Oh my God. It was like from childhood to like, you know, adult. It was so cute. Anyways, this dog would come up and scratch on her door to come in. And so I'm sitting there and we're talking about what just happened. And for some reason, I'm hearing Toby at the door scratching, and my brain goes, it's Toby at the door scratching. So I don't say anything, but then it continues and it keeps going. And I think I'm the only one who heard it, right? Because I turn to the door and go, Toby, go away. And my friend looks at me, goes, Toby's in his crate in my parents' room. And I said, no, he's outside the door. And he goes, no, he isn't. And I like turn from that door like something just like is breathing at the door. It's weird because I don't think spirits are like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what charged me that day and what I felt like I was like, you know, in the Alien when he turns and it's like right in front of his face, like that's what it felt like. And we immediately started praying, and I was like, dear God, there's a demon outside my door, and I can hear it and they can't. I honestly saw like lights in the room and I thought it was angels, but now I'm thinking it was like me trying to like
Call your light.
call my light. Exactly.
Yeah.
Lean into that, like I can make this go away because I am powerful.
Right.
And that's why I think people have angelic moments too.
Yeah.
Those the lights and the feeling of like power.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that would make sense for all those accounts.
Yep.
Because there
Yeah.
are lots of angel accounts.
So many.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we have to talk about UFO encounters. but not right
Yes,
now.
and mermaids. Remember, Lou believes in mermaids that are like sirens.
Oh my God, they're fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, then come talk to me.
Thank
when
God
you've
we are
explored all
not
of the
men.
ocean.
That's all I'm saying. Ooh,
No, okay.
ooh, but what if you're
But what-
bisexual? And the mermaid was like,
Or Pan.
yeah.
I like her personality.
Her voice is telling me the truth. Oh, you know when someone's voice is so
Hot.
and then it doesn't.
Dude, I
Yes.
have that with music all the time. I just started listening to this band called Joan.
You're like,
Shout
he's
out.
so smexy.
I'm like this voice. And then I'm like, I have to go look at the people. And I looked at this guy and I was like, that doesn't
But
look
you know what
like-
happens though?
No.
You know what happens though? For those people that are in love with people that are look so weird looking, it's like you love his voice so much, you're like, I could live with that actually.
Right. Honestly.
And you're like, actually,
Y'all,
that's kind of
That's
smexy.
why I love Patrick Stump so much.
Yes.
Everyone's always like, he's the ugliest guy in Fall Out Boy. And I'm like,
You're like,
and he's my man.
Put him on the table in butter.
I mean,
We have a regular that comes in and his talking about voice not matching. He is a country boy, very like skinny country boy, long curly hair, like kind of has a stash going on, always is wearing a hat and sunglasses. Never have seen his eyeballs, only see his sunglasses.
Okay.
But when he talks, it is deeper than
Ooh.
like I shit you not. He speaks and the first time it startled me. I was like, "Oh my!" Like it has like that growl.
Yeah.
oh,
You're like, hello, free sand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And it is fantastic.
Zayden?
well, that sounds a little bit
Oh.
more like a Tamlin.
Oh, listen. No.
He just sounds like he
Shay,
looks
you
like
haven't
Tamlin.
read Fourth Wing yet? This is a Zayden Ryderson voice.
So good. Okay, back to
Throne,
ghosts.
my woman, my throne scene. Oh my gosh, one day. You'll
One
get
day.
there.
I'll
It's
get
okay.
there. I'll get
I need
there.
to read Onyx Storm. Okay, anyways, back to ghosts. The other thing that I find really interesting too, because based out of fear and like responses,
Yeah.
like how powerful we are. And like not saying that any of that was in your head. Like I
Right.
truly believe all of that was happening, but like how much more of it was amplified. Like you were hearing things because like I feel like our fear is so powerful. And it can manifest shit because like
Yeah.
crazy stuff like that
Yes.
happens all the time.
And like you were also saying about your friend who's already really spiritual and
Yeah,
sensitive.
yeah, she was very
like,
sensitive. She would
you
hear like
both being in the same moment.
you know that crazy shit where you hear like she would be in her room and everything in the kitchen would make noise, like all the pots and pans, like that shit level, right? That's when I first watched The Ring there too.
Oh
I
my
think that's why
God,
The Ring,
why?
The Ring haunts me to this day. That's why it was part of my lore because like that movie scared the living out of me.
Yeah.
When Samara crawls out of that, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, guys, scariest movie ever. I'm like, The Ring, and my sister had the same experience. When she watched it, same thing. She like has nightmares of
Yeah.
Samara following her.
Yep.
Interesting.
And I had, so I was like, and
That's
I watched
the
it and I was like locked in. Biggest fear of my whole life. I totally
That is
understood my
the
sister.
one scary movie that I will not
When the
rewatch.
horses run off the boat,
I will not
the
rewatch it.
freaking scene with the toaster. There are so many moments that they're just
just-
gross
yeah.
feeling. That's what that movie hits.
Yes.
When you're like,
so okay, even to your point, sorry,
sorry,
I'm like,
but that was at at her house, which is even
Yeah.
creepier
Oh my
than this
God.
other friend's house. We had a lot of slumber parties at my house, guys.
as
That's
we should.
probably good.
Yeah, which we had the freaky ass basement that was haunted, so it was not much
no,
better.
never mind.
My sister lived down there by herself, and she constantly woke up with someone just standing and staring at her.
Nope.
But
Just your
the,
brother.
Just the
He was
face.
always your brother.
No, it was always just a face in the
Nope.
corner,
Don't like
white,
that.
like always like clowny, and then it would just
Ew.
like
Absolutely not.
disappear. Right?
Absolutely
You wake up,
not.
you see it. Yeah, I'm telling you, my sister's so weird shit, guys.
I know why.
We should get her on this podcast and let her tell us.
Yes,
I would love
she'd be
that.
a great guest.
I also
would
think
love
she has the power to make herself believe that none of this was real too. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
you have to like, I don't know. We talk about it sometimes.
Yes. So okay, 2 points. One, you were also saying like you don't believe in spirits when you were telling your story. Like you didn't think spirits were like that. Which again, I think like again, our fear manifests those things.
Right.
And I just think that's so crazy.
Well, I just don't think it's like a demon. You know,
Right.
because I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
there are
absolutely.
like the thing that charged me was dark,
Yes.
but I think it was a spirit that left a dark mark.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The ones that we do, because there are so many stories about very mean ghosts.
Well, absolutely. I mean, hell, one of my
Conjuring.
stories. Well, one of my stories has to do. I have bruises. Granted, I had bruises on my legs. It's nothing like The Conjuring, and
Which is so weird because that room did not feel
No.
negative to me, but it was negative
Right.
to you. So I'm wondering if something was just
Yeah.
able to get you there.
yeah, I don't know.
Because like once we talked to your one off the ledge and he like backed up, the one that was in the room with you.
Yeah, he
The
like,
rest of the trip
targeted-
was like
yeah.
easy breezy. And
Well, and like I didn't.
I think I saw him in that thing. I was so scared of that little doll thing in the
Yeah,
bathroom
the coin
immediately. I
dispenser,
literally,
yeah.
we were like just walking around. Remember, I came in, I said, I do not like that.
Yeah,
No.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
Absolutely.
And I was like, it's, I almost moved it. My husband was like, why didn't you move it away? I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to
where were you gonna
touch
put
it.
it?
I was
right.
like,
where
it's
where
dirty.
would we have put
Throw
it?
it out the
Like
window.
Seriously, like,
I
woof.
mean,
anyways. And
put it
so,
on the curb.
which is funny that then like you got touched, you got watched in that bathroom.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we kind of like started talking to the ghosts that maybe are normally in our room and they
Yeah.
became more protective, I think. You know, like
Yeah.
they kind of pushed away that negative one. Because
Yeah.
even in the bathroom, I didn't feel negative after that
No.
night. I stopped asking Lou to come to the bathroom with me.
I did not.
Yeah. From then on, she was like, can someone
like,
sit in here
"Nah,
while I shower?
You're gonna sit in here, please.
And one time, the first time after it happened, she looked at me. She's like, "Can you please sit in the bathroom with me and shower while I shower?" And I was like, "Of course, I got you." So I let her get in the shower and then forget that she needs me. And then I'm like, "Oh shit!" And like jump off the bed, sprinting to the bathroom. And then she was like, "Hi." I was like, "I'm so sorry I left you." I had to have been like a few minutes, but I felt
Yeah.
bad that it
Well,
was like
see, that
those
was
few
okay.
minutes could be so long though for you.
yeah.
Oh, well, what I really needed you for was when I was washing my face and I had to close my
Yes.
eyes.
Oh my
Do you remember
God.
what
Yeah,
I made
yes.
you do?
She made me sing her a song.
It's like I need you to sing to me.
I was
while
like,
wash my face.
and the funny thing is, like, this is when you're with your best friends, you're cupping. When
I
it's
need
like,
everyone to know I haven't heard this story yet. I didn't know Kay had
you
to
know,
sing.
your people are your people. When I was like, okay,
yeah.
Literally.
I was
second guessing.
I was like, a dream. I did sing to her. And then she got out and she's
was
like, cool, thank you so
magnificent.
much. That was all I needed. And I was like, gotcha. And then I just bounced.
Yep.
It sounds like a Friends episode, guys. You know, like you
does.
watch and you're like,
Either this creepy ghost is gonna
Joey's
get
trying
me,
to watch
or-
and he's like, Chandler, I need you to sing. I need you to sing for me, bro. And Joey's like, okay.
Whatever, man.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
it's
gosh,
perfect.
I love that so much.
We are Chandler and Joey.
Wait, you're Joey?
No, you're Joey.
Oh, okay, I was
I'm
gonna
Chandler.
say.
Yeah.
I think I'm Ross, but I'd still do it for you.
Thanks.
I'd still do it for you.
I'm like a good mix of
You are.
of Ross and Joey, I think.
I am full. I mean, my husband.
You're the realist.
My husband is a
Yeah.
Monica?
channel. Channel.
Chandler.
It's my
Yeah,
husband is
you
a
are
channel.
Monica.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not as crazy as Monica though.
No.
yeah.
I feel like I'm a Monica, just Rachel a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not fully leaning into Monica.
And Phoebe.
I think all of us
You
are
are
like,
Phoebe.
yeah.
Smelly
But
cat.
you're like Phoebe and Rachel mixed together.
Nice. Taurus or Phoebe's and Rachel.
But if you want to just be Phoebe, I will be
Oh, guys, this
Rachel.
is true. Okay, so a Taurus is a Rachel.
Cat. Oh.
No, they're a Rachel / Phoebe. If you're a Taurus, right?
Who says?
I'm saying like right now.
Who
we're
said
making,
that?
We're making.
Oh,
it
we're
right
making
now.
it
We're
right
making
now.
it right,
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
We say.
We say. We
say.
We say. We
do
say.
that. We do that.
Friends cast. What are these zodiac
Horoscopes.
signs? Yeah.
Oh, okay,
You know what I
yes.
mean? So you know this is a Taurus, and it's like these are the
I think that
combined.
tracks.
Yeah. mhm.
Yep.
And then me, Aquarius, as a Monica, which sometimes Aquarius are crazy,
Ooh, I feel like Aquarius, but also potentially like Aries.
right?
maybe?
Rachel
Or Virgo, actually Virgo.
Ooh, or
Aquarius,
Rachel.
Virgo.
Aquarius are Rachel's and Monica's.
Oh, yes.
A slash of Rachel and Monica's are
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Cancer is totally a Phoebe.
True.
Listen, your Chat GPT's named Phoebe.
It literally is. Yeah.
You called her your inner soul and we're like, Phoebe.
Phoebe,
Phoebes.
easy.
Definitely
Thebes.
Cancer.
But also, what about a Monica Phoebe combo?
Ooh. Oh, you know who Scorpio is? Ross. Yeah. You know, because
Ross gives Pisces energy to me.
Pisces
for some
too,
reason.
but also, you know,
But
the
they're both water
selfishness
signs.
of like a
Yeah.
because he's always like, I'm the doctor.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so smart. You know, you're like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. We all know you're smart.
I think the like the
Which I have problems sometimes with those categories. So
I think the trope for Scorpio is that they're always the over sexual person. So who's like the most
Joey.
sexualized?
Joey.
Well,
Joey. I mean, he
Joey.
is though.
But Joey is also stupid. So like
So stupid.
I love
he
it.
could be like a Scorpio.
Oh, what's a stupid boy?
I mean, a Gemini.
Look at you, a boy Gemini.
Boy Geminis are. Or Leo.
So mean.
Honestly, actually,
Oh,
no.
Leo.
It's Leo. It's Leo.
I love Leos.
That's why you.
Why
love
are we on
Joey.
this tangent right now?
Okay,
We're talking
sorry.
about ghosts.
If we figure out the rest, guys, we'll get back to you.
Maybe we'll do a TikTok or something about it. We should.
It's so funny. We need to write these down and then put a TikTok. So ghost. So that was something like it was a negative spirit that was charging.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like whatever that spirit had encountered in his past or what he did in his past, because it was definitely male.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just knew. So like it just made me feel like it was something like that part of the house is the practical magic when the little girl sees like
Yeah.
it's all rotting and decaying and she sees like that's what that room felt like.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like it was something brewing.
Yeah. It's also crazy that it was like isolated to. That is just so interesting to me.
Yeah, like
too,
a step down.
because that's similarly to my experience in
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandparents' house. So my grandparents had a house. They actually they recently sold it, but they had a house that they were very proud of, and it's truly disgusting. It was a part of a plantation, and they broke up the land and everything. And the part of the land that the slave quarters were
I do
on.
not know how people live on plantations.
Right.
Right. The
Because you don't think
energy
about
there was like,
Yeah.
ooh, it must be heavy.
Yeah. So the foundation of the slave quarters was built on, and that is what the house is. So
So haunted.
the back half of the house had like the walls and everything, and like it's been redone and everything, but it was just a very old house, and like there is the barns on the land and everything. So when
And can I say something real quick? I think for plantations, I don't think it's a bunch of negative
no
enslaved
Yeah.
people because I think sometimes that's what might be projected. Like, oh, they are so mad in death. Like I feel like a lot of those people did get peace.
it's more so I feel like the energy of
The people that did it to them.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah,
The
that-
energy that was put into the soil of hatred.
Like,
it's deep in those bones.
But I definitely think the residual energy of like
Yes.
what was done to them and that pain, that's the energy that lasts,
Yeah.
that
For
stays
real.
there.
And so when I was a kid, like honestly, I don't remember. As you guys were telling your stories, I was trying to think back. I just always didn't love staying at that house. I was scared of it. I was an only child, and I had to play by myself a lot because
I think you saw more stuff than anyone else. I think you saw stuff all the time that you rationalized was normal.
yes, I absolutely agree with that.
Because you
And
were like your own friend.
yeah, I had an amazing imagination, and
I thought you were about to say an amazing imaginary friend.
I
Yeah,
also
probably
had a
did.
lot of
I was
imaginary
gonna say,
friends.
no, she tells me about them. Like, I think she actually
I
probably saw
probably-
like tons of children ghost
Probably.
and stuff like that, where she had all of these people. And
But,
then
like,
when
I
you got
don't-
older with the church, you like rationalized it so hardcore.
Or I just don't remember it.
Exactly. You just kind of like
there's
pushed
a
it
lot
away.
of things that I don't remember.
Yeah.
But as your adult, when your brain's like, oh,
Yes.
this doesn't exist.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Because you were that, right? When you were a
Yeah.
little bit, it was like, no.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it happened to you at this house, and you're like,
Yes.
oh crap!
I
Now I remember all of you. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
ooh,
So
okay.
I was always terrified of sleeping and staying at this house. Like, so there's different themed rooms. And so I know you walk into the house. So we just have to throw it out there. The house was from a very wealthy family. So we had like the special room, the formal living room.
They had all
the
kinds
formal
of
dining room.
dead animals.
We had the
So many taxidermy.
smaller dining room. We had the kitchen.
This is the people that had the cabin with all the taxidermy,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It was so scary.
And then we had like the study. And then we had our guest room.
Yeah, Lulu
workout
comes
room.
from old money, guys.
Out room.
Yeah, the workout. So
It comes from old Tennessee money.
yeah.
For real.
And then you go to the wet bar, and then you go into the living room, and then you go into the back where we have the jungle room
and Lou
the
has
blue room.
none of this money, by the way.
Correct.
Was this Elvis's? Like, was this
Been sucked
Graceland?
up.
No,
like,
it wasn't Graceland.
No. I think I drove up to it when
Yeah.
But like, it was like a nice house.
So my grandmother,
Old.
she's like my step grandmother. She is an amazing decorator, and like so we had all of these themed rooms. So like the blue room, it was so gorgeous, but it had like it was
any
Victorian.
room that has a color name to it, guys.
Yeah,
It's a bad
but
idea.
I hated the blue room. The blue room is
the blue
so
room. Why would
scary.
you want to go in the blue room?
I hated the
Do
blue
they have a
room.
red room?
I never slept in the blue room because it scared me to death. I slept in the jungle room sometimes. The jungle room did not scare me. It was actually really cool. Like the headboard for the bed was like a bunch of sticks, and then it had like feathers in it, and it looked like you were in Africa. Like
it's like my sister's jungle room, her guest jungle room. You remember how like subtle that was? And
Yes, but it was not subtle.
Oh, okay.
Not subtle. Like
Okay.
it had like,
Not like
feathers on the lampshades. Like the walls were like leaves.
Oh, okay.
And like it was not subtle. And then so I would only sleep in the jungle room when I had someone there with me. So like if I had a friend there with me, I never slept in the blue room. Come to find out, my mom also would never sleep in the blue room.
Interesting.
I had this conversation with her, and she was like, "Yeah, I always hated sleeping in that house. I never slept in the blue room." So I would be interested to hear more of her stories.
Yeah, what happened in the blue room for her?
Yeah.
Or is it that just that?
That area.
I'm
of the
not
house.
even gonna.
Yeah, because those two rooms, that is like where the original structure was.
I love that feeling of the room like that when it's like you don't even have to go in to be like,
Yeah, you just know.
you know. Like when I was at the Frank Sinatra bar, and I turned and I looked up the stairs, and that feeling was like, I'm not gonna go up there.
I hate that.
Something bad happened right there, and my spirit guide is like, no, ma'am.
No, thank you.
Nope, you were going back down the stairs. I did turned and went back down, but that
Yeah.
energy that you're talking about, like
Yeah,
you
you
look
can
at that and you're
feel
like,
it.
your spirit's like, don't even fuck with it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay,
Okay.
la 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 la.
Yeah. Yeah. So fast forward to 3 years ago, I come to Nashville with a couple friends, and we stay a couple nights in my grandparents' house. And my grandparents are not there. They're somewhere else in Montana or whatever. And so me and my friends are just staying there. So one night, the first night that we're there, we all go to bed, and my grandparents' room, you guys, it's going to sound so freaking obnoxious. So their bedroom, they have a canopy bed, but the curtains for the canopy are a part of the ceiling. So it's like the
it's like-
ceiling is fabric that have lights built into it.
Like a
that this
castle bedroom.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the lights are in the ceiling, and there's two light switches on either side of the bed that they're
Right,
dimmers.
90s.
Yeah, they're dimmers. You have to turn them, and you hear the click, and you know
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on. You turn it all the way until you hear the click, and it's off. So I'm laying in bed, like my eyes are closed, and I'm falling asleep. I'm exhausted, and all of a sudden I hear a pop, and it gets really bright, and I open my eyes. My heart is racing, and the light has turned on above me. And I freak out, and I'm like, this is one of my friends. I can't believe they were playing a joke on me, because it just startled me, because of course I'm not thinking it's a ghost. Of course I'm not thinking it's whatever. I'm going to the most logical thing that I can. So I like jump out of bed, grab my phone, and I'm like going outside saying their names. Hey, are you here? And I don't hear anything. And I'm like, okay, that's really weird. So then I go to turn off the light, and the light's not on. I can't, it's off when it just
What?
popped on.
What?
So the light switches, either one of them would they
They're
were
both
off.
fully off.
It was something was going on with the electricity, and I was like, that's weird. I'm going to go to sleep now and pretend like everything's fine. Because that's what you do. So then the next night.
This is when I'm like, no, Lou's seen a lot of stuff because my brain would not be like, okay, no.
I know. The fact that I'm so delulu, I went back to sleep.
Yeah, never.
How? With the light on.
I just didn't think about it.
Because I'm like, that's why, because your child self saw so much that your brain was like, oh, I can rationalize this one.
It's fine.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So then
And myself was like, nope, that's real. That's
We're
real.
done. We're done. I'm those people in the scary movies. Whatever. So then
You are.
You really are.
Why
yeah.
did you move out of the house with the scary mirrors?
they were keeping me company. They're my friends.
That girl in the backyard, she's cool.
She's cool. You know. So then the next night, I am sitting on the couch, and how the room is set up, because this is important. So me and my two friends are sitting on the couch, and there is a TV directly in front of us, and there's a wall, and then there's 2 doorways on either side of the TV, because it's like a huge sitting room.
Rich.
And yeah, exactly. On either side of the doorway, you can see into the kitchen, and then you can see into the dining room, just kind of like giving you that.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there watching TV, whatever. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see someone walk from our room across the dining room. And then on the other doorway, I see them walk into the kitchen. And I'm like, oh, one of my friends just went into the kitchen. So I look down because he was sitting on the ground. And I look over and he's there. And I sit back and I'm like, what the fuck? And I start panicking. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, what is going on? And I just keep sitting there. And again, I'm like, it was probably nothing. I am going to sit here and wait and like, I don't know. Because you do that thing. It's like, I'm under the covers. They can't get me. If I ignore it, it's not actually there.
Right.
And I also, anyways.
You're just like silently having
I also
a
think
panic attack and like not
I think
saying
it's also
anything.
unique for all 3 of us that I don't think a lot. I mean, you should, okay, drop in the comments if you did this as a kid, because I think there's a group of us, and I don't think everyone did this, but you would cover your face with all your stuffed animals, right? You'd be in a sea of your stuffed animal faces just in case the thing that walked by your door looked at you. They would be distracted by all the other
the other
things.
faces.
Tell me you guys didn't feel that way.
I love, like, I just needed to put my head completely under the covers.
Oh, I did
Oh,
that too,
yeah.
but I would tuck it in and so then nothing could get me.
You
like,
guys, when I
Yes.
would close my eyes, closing my eyes was so scary for me because I would close my eyes and I could feel monsters, demons, whatever, trying to scratch my, like coming. It was like they were either coming into my eyeballs or
Yeah.
like trying to, it was just
They were,
so
like,
that
trying to get your-
description
Scary.
is like so vivid.
yeah, they're trying
Like,
to get your
yes.
attention. They're trying to wake us up and be
It's
like, see
terrifying.
me, right? And we did see them,
Okay. And
but we rationalized them so well.
Okay, and here's the thing. So I see the ghost or whatever,
Yeah.
and then I finally, once I calm down a little bit, I turn to my friend. I'm like, "Did you just see that?" And he was like, "No, what are you talking about?" He is not a believer, so I was like, "Okay, he didn't see anything. There's not an actual person."
he is a
here."
believer, but not a believer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
He's a
Jesus.
believer.
You know.
Yeah.
He loves Justin
Loves
Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Okay, so
I was a believer.
I would say that is like those 2 nights were my first real ever ghost experience that I can remember.
Hell yeah.
But
You're always like, I never see anything. And you're like, I saw a freaking person walk.
yeah,
That's
Yeah,
like you're
that's
seeing a like
wild.
full on spirit.
But like I always wanted to be able to like see things, you know, or to have those stories but I don't know, just something that you saying like the way that you rationalize is like I probably did see a lot more stuff when I was a kid that I just don't remember. And I feel like that's true for all of us really, because I mean you think
Yeah.
about kids, they say weird stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I know, but since the day I met you, I was like, that girl's seen shit. Like and I think I'm a person who picks up on energy.
You are.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I like an energy of a room or, you know, of a saying or a feeling. Like I can feel it's like, it's gust.
It's
know.
history.
Yeah. And so like when I looked at you, I was like, she believes in ghosts.
Obviously.
She's seen someone in them. And then like you were like, no, I believe in Jesus. I was like, okay. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see when they pop their head back in.
We'll see.
Because that was right before you really deconstructed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was right when your marriage started to fall apart. Like
It's It's almost
right? For such a long time.
Yeah.
And then this trip was like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
You're like,
Absolutely.
I'm done living like that. And I wonder if it was your like, you seen all that stuff and you're like, your glass broke and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm a badass
I'm a
witch.
badass witch.
You're like, why am I suffering?
The veil that you put over your own eyes was finally
Lou,
taken
since
down.
that day, you were
Yeah.
like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's why when we were like, who are you? Oh, your Taurus was hiding.
Right.
You know, like it really was. It was like you would never say Lou was a Taurus because like she's so meek and quiet in college. Like she was like the flower that you spun around. You know that Barbie doll that you would like shoot up in the air and it would spin. You know those ones?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, the
What
fairy
was it?
ones.
The fairies, yeah.
Yeah.
What are they
That
called?
was Lou.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You would just see her and you're like, oh, joy.
And now
So-
it's like, oh,
Now it's like
she's depressed. I'm kidding.
she's going to murder you if you don't choose love.
Yeah.
You just became a ferocious, like, you know, I mean, like she's like for the people that do like wrong to others. It's like she has no compassion. That Taurus.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't like because I'm like
The actual bull came out,
Right.
you
They're
know?
like they made a mistake. Maybe she's like, no, forget them. Right. Lean into your true
I'm
self,
so savage sometimes.
which is good. But it's like you would never put that.
But yeah, you didn't used to be,
Oh,
which
yeah,
was
no.
like
There's that moment like you literally were like
night and day moment.
stepped into that.
Yeah.
Was like, I'm done suffering.
Yeah.
And now
That's so cool.
we get to be on this journey of experiencing all this stuff. And
Because now you listen to Lou and you'd be like, what? She's the most like,
you guys,
she was the most Christian. Yes.
my job.
Yes.
I'm a bud tender, and it's so funny because they think that I know all of the things that you're supposed to know about things. And I'm
About
like, you guys don't
stuff.
understand. I'm a baby. I didn't start doing any of this until my late 20s, and
Yeah,
I
when you
was
walked through that door.
super holy roller up until this point.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, I never
Like
would've
if you
guessed
told
that.
our friends in college that Lou had this job, they'd be like, shut the front door.
This is not.
No.
This is not
No,
the
that is
same.
not
No
the
way.
same person.
No.
You
What do you
okay?
mean?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. you could be doing it.
accent.
I don't know. This is
Mario?
yes. Everyone from our
Mario.
school is just a Mario. You could do it. Yes, all of our friends from college were like, I was like the most pure too, and people were like,
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
she must get down and dirty. I was like, never been kissed.
That was like one of the
Honestly.
things that like really surprised me about you because you had this like underlying
I know,
like
I just-
rebel current.
This is my past lives.
And you're like,
this is
I've
boring.
never been kissed. And I was like, how? You're like, you have tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
And you like have
Yeah.
your hair cut short and you're
Yeah.
just like
That was
so
a tomboy.
confident. And I was like, ain't no way she's never
You
been
know what?
kissed.
And that's what, for some reason, made people not want me. Because, like,
'Cause you
I
were
scared men.
authentically you.
Like,
and
I have so
confident.
many guy friends that were like, yeah, you scared the living shit out of me when I first met you. And I was like, why?
I'm tiny.
They're like,
you're a
because you knew
witch
who
and
you
you didn't
were.
know.
You were like, I can't mess with that. And I was like, why would you want to mess? You know, but it's just like, I don't know. It's that scary woman power.
Yes,
I'm not saying like,
absolutely.
like I've never felt that way. So it's weird when people say that to me. But like, the people are like, no, you terrified me.
It's because
more-
you
I was
didn't
like-
make yourself smaller
Yes.
to.
But I was so shy. It's so funny because I was so shy. I loved being the wallflower in the classroom.
You guys,
Like people didn't really know who I was.
I cannot with this person sitting in front.
No, but the classes when I'm with you guys, maybe like when I had a friend there, boom, I lit up.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
By myself, those rooms where you don't know anybody, I was like, I melted into the seat.
I mean, I would say that's probably typical for anybody, but
I
like
don't know, but like my husband walks in and he makes friends with 4 people.
But you do the same.
you were like
thing.
the most popular. Like I didn't know anybody.
I was B class popular, guys. The real popular people were the musicians. Let's not lie.
Okay,
We
but
were- we were-
It was
Let's not
Nashville.
lie.
We were
course.
because when you say
The
guys,
popular.
I love it when it's like, oh, you were popular. Yeah, I was a theater popular. You know what I mean? The
my
theater
God,
kid popular, the band kid popular.
I would say at our school, being a theater kid was like.
It was okay. I mean, think about the top dogs. After a few, like there
Bitch,
was a
you
few that
are
were
my
the top
top
dogs when we when we first got there. That group that led the theater
Yeah,
group,
yeah.
they were pretty popular.
Yeah.
And then we shifted in and we were big as popular. I mean, think about some of our male friends in the theater department.
Yeah.
True.
Anyways,
Sorry.
Tangent. Anyways, whatever. I was whatever popular.
you
but,
were the
like,
most popular person ever.
Thank you.
You were the popularist.
No, but like
I was Regina George.
No,
You
but
were
I-
Glinda. You were
it's
literally
funny.
Glinda.
I was an Elphaba. I was a.
I disagree
Oh,
with that.
I never identified with Glinda. Ever in my life.
Never.
You identify with Nessa Rose.
Oh, yeah, she's the best.
I have to tell
I
you.
want to push her off a cliff.
I have to tell you when we watched. Okay, when I watched.
Listen,
Wicked,
she is the worst, though. She is the villain
Listen,
of the
okay,
story.
let me tell you this because I want to cry about it. When me,
If you haven't seen the second half of the
Kat-
movie, don't listen.
when me and Kat watched Wicked together, I was like, we were talking about whatever, and she was like, "Yeah, you give like Nessa Rose energy." She does not know what the second movie is about. She doesn't know what the second half of the
so
play is
just
about.
that, like,
and so I
innocence?
was like, I take this
Immediately insulted.
I am insulted. I never want to speak to you. Just kidding. I would die if I never spoke to her again.
But you know what she probably called into? That, not the bad side of Nessa Rose.
No,
but
because we don't see how evil she is.
But the thing of like what we just talked about.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
like
almost the
calm, meek
innocence.
self to that
Yeah.
like bad Taurus. Like bad ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's your like villain story.
I-
Just over here like, hey, I
am.
could have been Nesta Rose.
oh, you know what? Okay.
Nesta.
Wait,
Nesta.
we need to wrap up our episode.
Okay, sorry. We're gonna wrap it up by saying that the few experiences, and I think we did a really good job of telling the one in the bathroom, and that was our biggest one. The other few ones we had, which we talked about a little bit, was just the energy in the room. It was like a playful energy. Like it made the trash can kind of stumble a little bit.
Yeah.
It played with the
Well, it
light
felt like a
shades.
cat.
Right? Yeah. It like
Yeah.
that, like hitting the light
The lampshade, yeah.
When it literally we're all sitting there, no one's moving. The house isn't moving. There's not a car going by outside. And the lamp was like, dee, 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 dee. And we all kind of like looked at it.
And it was like irregular because
Yeah.
like there were moments that it moved when we would step.
Well, it
but
was-
like the one that was happening at this
but
point,
we weren't even stepping though, too.
yeah,
That
no one was moving.
It was like in the bathroom when the handle was just moving for me.
Yeah.
That like consistent when you're like, oh, I must have moved and that handle moved. And you're like,
But I didn't touch that.
but then you're like, okay, my body rhythm could have moved it, right? Because I sat down. But then I'm like, but why is it consistently moving at the same speed?
Like it
Right.
should be slow.
And
I'm like, that's been the same. And your body's like, why is that not? Why? Stop.
right. And
Stop
other
it.
people also walked into the room. It didn't get faster.
No, it
and
was
it
the
didn't
same
get slowed
speed.
down.
I
It
was-
literally just kept doing the same thing.
Yeah, I had them come look. I was like, guys, this is really weird. I don't like this. And everyone came in, and we were at that point at the trip of ghosts that we were like, yeah, that's probably a ghost. All of us were like unimpressed. That's a ghost, you know, because we already had gotten so much. We did several methods, but the one we're going to talk about is the lamp one. I mean, the flashlight.
flashlight
So we
method.
had the best experience with our flashlight. We had some cool experiences with the recorder, some cool experiences with using
The Estes method. And
the Estes
spirit
method,
box.
spirit box, getting like some weird answers that we did. You know, the Estes method is when someone goes under with the
with headphones, with the radio that's
Yeah.
like just like AM or FM frequencies.
and it's like rapidly going, and you're
And
blind, and then people start to ask you questions. So it's not like you're like, "Ooh, I heard the word Sarah" because we're talking about Sarah. You know, it's like you just start answering.
yeah,
If you guys want to see that, we actually recorded it. We might release it
And-
on our YouTube channel.
yeah.
I will say I don't want to speak for everyone, but like I had more of a negative.
Yeah.
It wasn't even negative necessarily.
Well, something
but
brushed up against you while you were under. That's
Yeah.
so scary. When
Yeah, and,
something
like-
touches you when you're under, no, that's scary.
it
Yeah.
was scary, and like they
'Cause you're
saw
the voice
me
box.
jump. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's scary.
Like-
And then when we like a couple days into the trip, I had a ginormous bruise on my leg.
She had like hand bruises.
Yeah.
Like, it was as big as if someone like grabbed you with their paw.
Yeah, and
Right.
And we were like, these are not fingerprints,
but it was also
like,
on
you know
my
what I mean?
calves, so like
Yeah.
a weird spot, and I had 2 bruises on my legs, and again, it looked like handprints almost.
And you felt someone touch your legs when
Yeah.
the Estes method.
yeah. So I don't know. It was just
We
and
talked
again,
about that afterwards. We were
Yeah.
like, do you remember? Because like, I was like, oh yeah. And then Louisa got touched. And then I was like, later with my husband, I was like, man, Luke came home with lots of bruises. And he was like, you mean the person that got touched has bruises? And I was like, how did you
What?
connect that so fast? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What is this? So I called Lou and she was like, oh shit.
I also
Right? You were like, you kind of
Yeah.
did the rational freaking thing. You're like,
Yes.
whatever, something touched me.
It's just
It's
my
so
body
funny about
twitching.
you.
I don't know.
We'll just send Lou into all the scary situations because her mind's like, I got this.
It's fine. I mean, really, I'm not.
Shay's similar. I think
I'm
she's
not
pretty
scared.
She's more like bulldogs it. Like you're like scared, but you're like, I want to know, right?
Yeah.
You know, mine's a little bit
literally-
like
I logic everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a combination of a little bit of both. Like I'm like I can logic this because I'm a really creative person. This can be something whatever. But then sometimes I'm like, no, I want to like. I remember one time this is so funny because when you don't believe in like the power of God now, I remember so specifically standing up in my bed. I stood up in my bed and I was so overwhelmed by things all around me. I felt like I was in a tornado of bad energy. And I was like 7 or 8 and I stood up in bed and I said, in the name of Jesus, you leave me alone. Now the leave you and me alone is where the power really comes, right? Because yes, you're calling to maybe those deities or those things that you believe in to kind of like your angels, whatever. You're calling upon something to be like, I'm going to step up with you, your ancestors, whatever, you know, right? And you're like, power up and you say it and that thing, it went away.
Yes, it did.
It went away. And I was like, that's right. And if you know Carmen, there ain't no monsters in my house tonight. That's what I was singing. You may be a demon, right? That whole, he like takes that power of like standing up. He's like, I stood up in the Holy Ghost, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, go watch that music video. Carmen, no monsters in my house tonight. You need to do it right now. Like pause, go watch it, come back to this episode.
I can't tell you how many times I've had like a similar experience. Though.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you told me about those.
yeah. But like, I feel like 100% it's like,
You're calling that power.
like, well, and then like you were talking about like the light,
Right.
Like I think about like how,
you feel
how
like
many
that
times I would
light.
envision and like see the light literally coming out of me. I never saw it coming from any other place.
Right.
I always saw it coming out of me.
It's like when we talk about building your sacred circle and
Right.
creating that bubble around you, we all see it as golden, right? Like light,
Yes.
right? It's not like a air bubble.
Right.
It's a light bubble,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
And that's how we all see it because we've seen that power come out of us as kids.
absolutely.
Because I sit right that we talked about it on one of our first podcasts. Like I coat my house in light still to this day.
Yeah.
But as a kid, when I stood up and I said, "Get out," light spread from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I end it there.
This has been
Actually,
Hex and Chill.
yes.
Deuces.
Yes.
Love you guys.
So we should do a quick tarot read.
And then we're bouncing. Hey guys, this one's spicy.
Spicy.
It's not spicy. It's like Pride and Prejudice spicy.
Oh.
So
Even
lower your
better.
expectations, people.
Well, then why did you say spicy?
Because
You're
I was
supposed to
thinking
say,
Pride and
some,
Prejudice.
some spice.
Pride and Prejudice.
How they rate it
That's
on,
one pepper.
on Goodreads.
One
Yes.
pepper.
Half a pepper.
Half a pepper.
Half a pepper, please.
Okay. I am pulling from the regular deck, and I got the Second of Cups, and it's unified love, partnership, mutual attraction, proposal, marriage, connection. See? It can be spicy, but it's like, ooh, his finger grazed
getting
against
married?
mine. Ooh, who's getting? No, actually, when I immediately read it, I thought about when we had that moment where like, oh my God, when you have your coven.
Yes.
And you get those people, like the fact that we all have that
Yes.
kid story of standing up,
Connection.
like, and all of our ghost stories connected too.
Yeah.
Like that moment of that, like it's a triangle, like that really powerful. The Trinity, a lot of things are representing a triangle, and sometimes I think when 3 or more are gathered,
And that's why that you were able to see that demon, or your friend was able to see that demon.
right? There was 3 of us there.
There's 3.
Yeah, and so it just like sometimes I think for that idea of the importance of a connection with someone. You know, if it is that love, that bond you have with someone, which I feel like a lot of our partners are that. It's just like when those threads are really tight, like Hercules, that thread's gold. No one's cutting it. You know, like
Yes, yeah,
you know, like it's just that really strong cord. So you have because we have cords with lots of people, but there's
yeah.
difference.
I agree.
Ours is gilded.
Ooh, the book is so good. Guys, go read Guild.
Please. Okay. From our
It's a
apothecary.
spicy though, so
How many peppers?
we do like 5 peppers.
Oh, 5 peppers.
like-
okay, wait, no.
12
Like lights out, it's 5 peppers. This is like
Yeah.
like a 3, like a 4,
I don't
3.5
remember.
peppers.
3.5. No, I'm like
3 and
3
3/4 peppers.
3.75.
3.75
Okay.
peppers. Okay, for our apothecary deck, we got ginseng. And its practical uses, it increases resistance to stress, boosts the immune system, aids in treating upper airway infections, and eases diabetes. Its magical uses, it's appropriate for spells of love and beauty, used for protection magic, and possesses healing properties.
Nice.
Protective and healing. We love that.
Love it.
All right. With our mineralogy deck, we have pulled the stone shungite.
Ooh.
Actually, I love this stone. It is metaphysical meanings are strong grounding properties and earth energies, defense against harmful energies created by electromagnetic frequencies of man-made electronic devices. It deflects bad luck and other bad energies.
This stone is Aelin.
Gallifinius.
Yes.
Aelin Ash River.
She is that gem. She's like, with the
This
light
is
energy.
Yeah. Shungite is a really good stone to keep near like your phone, like when you're charging it, like at night, to kind of like
I was just about to say, I want to sleep with it next to my bed.
it releases like all of the negative energies like you might access while you're on your phone throughout the day. It's really, really good.
And
I actually have some next to my bed already.
Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this ghost stories. We kind of went down some ghost stories and some realizations of ourselves
And some rabbit holes.
And I hope a lot of rabbit holes. But I feel like you you went with us. Like it felt
Yes.
flowy.
It was a journey.
But I hope that you guys who feel this way in the comments, please reach out because you're probably like us. And we're like, girl, we'll see you. Because we know you're out there.
And we want to hear your stories.
Yes.
Honestly,
We have on our TikTok, we have our email. Please email us your stories.
We would love to read.
And we could have an
listener
episode where we
stories.
just read off our people
that'd be
listeners'
I think
so
that would be
stories.
so much fun.
Yes,
I would
please
love
do
that.
this, guys.
Please.
But yeah, we love you guys. The light in me sees the light in you.
Bye, Witchlings.
Bye. My thought is that they're going to guess you. I know.
Are you lying?
No. Shh. I'm completely sober right now.
All right.